flaunted my ring while sleeping with coworkers. Now he returned it in front of everyone. This is going to be a long one, but I will try and make it short. I never would have thought that my wedding would be called off. My fiancé and I got engaged 3 months ago at an intimate dinner behind closed doors, but now he called it off in the open. Hi Reddits, my name is Ashley and I am 30 years old. I work in a marketing department at a private company. I have been working there for over 5 years now. My ex-fiancé's name is Williams. Williams and I have been together for a year now. We dated for 9 months before he finally proposed to me to be his wife. I met William a year ago at a cinema. Yes, guys, the cinema. My friends and I came that day to watch a movie together, and it happened that Williams and I sat next to each other. That night, Williams just couldn't stop staring at me. I felt a little bit uncomfortable. We didn't talk all through the movie, though, but after the movie ended and when it was time to leave, Williams said hello to me. He sounded so charming, and he looked like my kind of guy. We exchanged pleasantries and also introduced ourselves. Williams didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. That night, he told me that he was attracted to me and said that he likes me and would want us to be friends. I felt really shocked because he was very audacious. Most of the guys I had dated in the past weren't as bold as Williams was when we first met. Out of 4 of my exes in the past, I was the one that made the first move. It was love at first sight for me then, and I thought they were going to last, but it didn't. Even though each of my exes had their own side of the breakups, I also played a major part in it. Most times I was found cheating. That's not really my fault because not all of them could satisfy me both materially and romantically. My first ex, Daniel, wasn't that rich and couldn't pay my bills. Most times he complained about my extravagant spendings and expensive lifestyle, and so I went out to look for a man that was capable of paying my bills without raising his voice. I cheated on him with a guy I later dated, Jake, who was my second ex-boyfriend. I had an affair with him for months before Daniel found out and he broke up with me. For Jake, it was slightly the same thing. He couldn't satisfy my needs in bed that much, and I cheated on him barely 2 months after we started dating officially with someone I met at the club. He found out and we broke up. At that time, I stayed out of relationships for a while, but I went out with a lot of guys, mostly from the clubs. I wasn't looking for anything serious. I wanted to enjoy myself. But as time went on, I found someone who was really in love with me. His name was Joe. We dated for a year before we broke up. He caught me kissing his best friend at his birthday party. I really liked Joe, but I found his best friend more attractive. Joe did everything to make me happy, but he wasn't romantic enough. After he broke up with me, his best friend cut all ties with me as well. Not long after I met Eric, the last guy I dated before I met William. For Eric, we broke up after 2 years because he was relocating and said he couldn't have a long-distance relationship, which I didn't stress further. Eric was the longest I have been with among all of my exes. I thought he would be the man I would finally settle down with, but he wasn't. I stayed for a year before I gave my relationship a chance with William. So guys, that was how my relationship with my exes went down. After my last breakup, I wasn't really interested in entering a new relationship. I was just there living my life. When I met William, I liked him because he was very good-looking and bold. He was the kind of guy that I would like to marry. So that night, Williams asked us to be friends and also asked for my contact. I felt a bit skeptical, but ended up giving him anyway. After he got my contact that night, he called me the next morning, but we weren't able to talk that much because of work, and so he called later that night and we talked. Williams asked me out for an outing after work in any place of my choice, which I accepted. I texted the address of the restaurant that we were to meet before I left the office, and we met. It wasn't like an official outing, guys. So, we got there on time, and no one kept the other waiting. I have always been keen on not keeping my date waiting because I don't like being kept waiting also. William and I talked for a long time while eating. We asked some questions just to get to know each other. The conversation was basically about our likes and dislikes, the job we do and stuff. I won't lie, guys, I really enjoyed it. Williams made the conversation funny, and I had a good laugh that day. After we were done, William and I went to have some ice cream for the day. He proposed to drop me home, but I declined. It was our first time going out, and we were still in the process of getting to know ourselves then. I know what you all are thinking right now, that I didn't trust him that much to know my address, right? Well, yes. At that time, I didn't bring guys that weren't my boyfriend home. So guys, after that day, We kept meeting during the day for lunch before going back to work. After a few weeks of going out, William asked me to be his girlfriend, which I accepted wholeheartedly. I was beginning to like him, and I wanted to try a relationship at that time again. Also, I needed someone I could call my boyfriend and get out with freely without hiding. It's safe to say that I was partly with Williams for stability. Also, guys, all the times we were dating, William didn't know where I worked, or should I say he hadn't been there. He knew the kind of job I do, but he hadn't come there or dropped me off for once. William is a busy type, and he always goes to work early and goes back home late. The only time he had time was during lunch hours, and we usually eat together at a restaurant not too far from his office and mine too. It was a win for us. Williams was not a boring boyfriend at that time. He sent me gifts and flowers to my office. Yes, he knows the address, but never did he come there to do anything all through the time we were dating except for last week, when he humiliated me in front of everyone. His first time visiting me there was disastrous. I have never been that embarrassed in my entire life like how William showed up and embarrassed me. He wasn't supposed to have shown up the way he did. I was set up at work. I always used to flaunt all the gifts and flowers William used to send to me during work hours. That got most of my female colleagues jealous. They didn't like me because most of the guys in the office liked talking to me. A lot of the guys in the office were attracted to me. People always compliment me because I am very beautiful. I have the body shape and face that makes people's heads turn any time I walk into a room. I have had a fling with some of my male colleagues, and not all of the female colleagues knew about it back then. Well, I thought so too. I mentioned earlier that I went out with guys after my third breakup, right? Yes, a few of them were from the clubs, and most were my coworkers. It has been a long time with them. Most of these guys were married, and some were single or divorced. I know this sounds crazy to you guys right now, but that's just the truth. Out of the male colleagues I had slept with, 3 kept coming back. For them, they just couldn't let go of me. What I had with them wasn't serious, and there were no strings attached. But I liked one of them so much, and I was closer to him than the rest. His name is Derek. Derek is a good-looking young man, smart and funny. At work, Derek's desk was opposite mine, and it was hard to resist him. I couldn't stop staring at him and thinking about what we could do if we were alone. Derek, on the other hand, liked me, and we got connected. The feeling was kind of mutual. Yes, we both had the same thing for each other. For Derek, he just wanted to have fun, and I also wanted the same thing. We usually meet at his place and sometimes at the hotel. He doesn't even know where I live, and we only meet thrice a week. Our fling continued even when Williams and I started dating. At first, I didn't inform him about it on time because I didn't see the need to. It wasn't like we were in some kind of committed relationship. There was nothing serious going on between us then. But along the way, I told him about Williams, and he was cool with it. Well, he had no choice. All these while, I thought no one knew about my relationships with my male colleagues, but I was wrong. I didn't know that was closely being watched, and a trap was set up for me. The ladies in the office were so jealous of me to the extent they planned to humiliate me. I never knew that it was a crime to be too beautiful because I didn't understand why they were so jealous. The fact that I was close with the male colleagues and how William kept sending me flowers and gifts made them upset. At that time, they didn't know who exactly was sending me those gifts. It always came as anonymous, but I knew it was Williams. They kept gossiping about who was always sending in those stuff, and they hadn't seen me walk in with a guy as my boyfriend then, like I did in the past. I personally kept Williams and my relationship private, not for any reason. Williams kind of made everything easier because he doesn't like attention. He's a very simple and easygoing person. So guys, after 9 months of dating, Williams proposed to me to be his wife. The proposal was just between the two of us at a private restaurant in the city. At first, I felt guilty and didn't want to accept it because I wasn't faithful to him. Guys, Williams at that time had no idea about my past relationships or present life. He didn't know that I had had a fling with some of my male colleagues at work and was still sleeping with them. Williams also didn't know that Derek and I were still meeting up also. At that moment, I felt really dirty, and I wanted to not accept his proposal. My conscience was really dealing with me, and my chest was beating fast. I thought about confessing everything to him and seeing if he could forgive me and still go ahead with the proposal, but I couldn't. I didn't want to lose him, and at the same time confess everything to him. While thinking about that, Another thought came in and told me not to say anything to Williams and go with the flow. Of course, Williams will not know anything about the kind of life I was living then if I didn't tell him, and also nobody knows about me at my workplace that much, or know who Williams was to spill it to him. I was in a safe place. So guys, after much thought, I concluded on keeping the secret to myself and not saying a word about it to Williams. Guys, I got lost in thought and didn't know that Williams was still on one of his knees, waiting for my response. It was not until he tapped me to know if everything was okay that I realized that I had gone deep in thought. Immediately, I said yes, that I would be his wife, and he put the ring on my finger. Guys, the ring was very beautiful and expensive also, and I just couldn't even stop staring at it. Williams was happy that I loved it, and he told me he had it made specifically for me. On hearing that, I felt very excited and proud. Just imagine getting a custom-made ring for a proposal. That's different from the real wedding ring. So guys, after the proposal night, I couldn't wait to show my colleagues at work, most especially the female ones, the ring. I got the ring on Saturday night and I kept counting down to Monday morning. The hours between that night to Monday morning felt like forever. The time was very slow and I was overwhelmed with excitement. I just couldn't wait to see the look on their faces. I deliberately didn't post on my social media handle because I had some of them as my mutual friends, and I wanted to see their reaction firsthand. So guys, after what felt like forever, the weekend was over and I was to go to work. That day we had a meeting, and when I got to work, I just couldn't keep my hand down. It was very easy to notice it. A few of my colleagues that were at work early before the meeting saw it, and they congratulated me. Some of the ladies just took a glance and passed. That was the satisfaction I wanted, and I got it. When we got to the boardroom, it was even worse. I kept flaunting the ring stylishly, and everyone, including the boss, saw it. The boss even asked that we make a toast to myself, which we did. That day, everyone at work knew that I was engaged and at some point got tired of seeing the ring. I cared less about it then because I was happy that everyone knew about it down to the security guards. After work was over that day, I was clearing my desk to leave when Derek came to my side. If I had remembered correctly, it was just the two of us that were remaining in the office. He drew closer to me and kissed me. He told me how much he had missed me and asked me to hug him. I was a bit skeptical at first because we were still in the office, but he assured me that everyone had gone home. Immediately, I hugged him and tried to disengage quickly, but he pulled me closer to him and kissed me. At that moment, I couldn't resist him, and I kissed him too. After a few minutes of kissing each other, he asked me to follow him, which I did. He took me to one of the offices where files are stacked up and started kissing me again. We were so busy that moment that we forgot to lock the door. Of course, we thought that we were the only ones in the office that day. After we were done having fun, Derek asked me if we were going to be seeing each other as my boyfriend had proposed to me, and I assured him that we were still going to see each other. Derek was happy hearing that, and we went another round before going back home. Guys, after my proposal, Derek wasn't the only guy I was sleeping with. They were 3. That is, Derek and 2 of my other coworkers that I had a fling with kept coming back. I mentioned that earlier, though. Also, they weren't coming because I was engaged. When Williams and I were dating, we met once in a while, but my engagement worsened everything because I was being watched. All the time I was flaunting my ring and sleeping with my coworkers, someone was keeping an eye on me and figuring out how to deal with me, but I didn't know about it. So guys, everything came crashing last week at work. That morning, I resumed work like every other day, doing the job assigned to me that morning. Before I get started for the day, Williams and I usually talk on the phone and plan where we would meet for lunch as usual, but that morning he didn't pick up. I sent him text messages but didn't reply to any. Until that time, we were cool. We didn't fight or argue, at least none I could remember. Williams and I lived separately then. We concluded that I would move in after the wedding, but we usually do spend the night at each other's place sometimes. So guys, I was a little bit worried because Williams and I couldn't talk, and he wasn't replying to me or sending me love messages. I concluded that he was busy and decided to give him time. I waited up till lunchtime and I didn't hear from him. It was at that moment I decided that I would use my lunch break to go see him at the office. Guys, just when I was about standing up from my desk to leave, William stormed in angrily. Apparently, when he got into the building, he didn't know where exactly my office was, and he was accompanied by one of my female colleagues, Sia, who we had never seen eye to eye before. She was one of the ladies that didn't hide her dislike for me. Of course, she was the major reason that I kept flaunting my ring at work. We were on the same rank at work, and she hated the fact that the guys paid more attention to me than her. At that moment, I was surprised to see her walk in with Williams in that state. Williams was very furious, and I didn't understand what got him angry that much. Also, I was surprised as to how Williams and Sia got to meet. Before then, nobody knew Williams or our relationship. Sia, on the other hand, pointed to Derek's desk, and William walked straight to him. Before I could understand what was going on, Williams gave him a heavy punch. Everyone, except Sia, was surprised because we didn't know what exactly Derek did. Derek couldn't retaliate because he was trying to recover from it. Immediately, I went straight to Williams and asked him what was going on, but he pulled me away and warned me not to dare touch him, and he called me cheap and slut-shamed me. I thought maybe it was a joke, and I looked at Williams to be sure if he was the same person I know, but it was him, my fiancé. I asked him why he was calling me such names, and he told me that I was disgusted and ashamed to call me his fiancé. Williams told me not to act surprised or give him that shocking look because he knows what he was saying. Immediately, Williams brought out his phone and showed me lots of pictures. They were photos of me and Derek and the other guys that I had been sleeping with. Williams also showed me videos of Derek and I getting intimate in the office. That day, I thought it was just Derek and I in the office, but we didn't know that Sia was around. She saw us hugging and kissing and recorded everything. According to her, she recorded it because she knew that Derek wasn't the guy that proposed to me or sent me gifts and flowers. That day also happened to be the day I came to the office flaunting my ring, and she concluded that I was cheating on whoever gave me the ring, and so she planned out a way to get to my mystery boyfriend and expose me. She had me follow one time during lunchtime and got to meet who Williams was, and also followed him to know where he worked. Yes, guys, she did all of that, and she confessed it right in front of everyone. Williams showed how grateful he was to Sia, and told everyone that Sia saved him from a hoe like me. It was at that moment I realized that Sia was all bent on destroying my life. Williams at that moment pulled my hand towards him, and he removed the ring from my finger. He told me that the relationship was over, and said I could continue sleeping with Derek and the rest guys, and he walked out. I was speechless throughout the whole thing. I couldn't understand what was happening and didn't even know how to defend myself. Sia really did me dirty and actually hurt me. After Williams left, Sia walked up to me laughing and mocking me with her face. I was so angry that I didn't know when I took the telephone on my desk to hit her, but she dodged it. Just in that moment, the boss walked and asked Sia, Derek, and I to come over to his office. He had heard what happened, and he wasn't happy. When we got there, we explained what happened, and the boss told me that he was going to put Derek and I on suspension for having an intimate moment in the office, which was against company policy, and I was going to be punished for being violent towards a coworker, which was prohibited. I tried begging him, but he sent us out. Derek and I were given a few minutes to clear out our desks and leave the office that day. I left and went to meet Williams at his office, but he instructed that I shouldn't be allowed in. I went to his house to wait for him. When he got back, he also instructed the gatekeeper not to allow me in. I called and texted him but didn't reply. It's been a week and I haven't heard anything from him. Update. Hey guys, it's been 3 months since I last updated you guys on what happened between Williams and I. Well, nothing much happened after then. Williams was serious when he broke up with me in front of everyone that day and collected his ring back. I never got the chance to see him or speak with him. He blocked me on all social media handles and on the phone as well. He wouldn't even let me come closer to him or pick up my stuff that is in his house. I tried everything I could to get back with him, but it didn't work out. As for Derek, he doesn't want to see me or have anything to do with me after that public humiliation and cut all forms of communication with me. I'm hurt, but not hurt as much as how Williams and I ended or losing my job. Yes, guys, I got fired from work after 3 weeks of suspension. The disciplinary committee deliberated over what happened, and I flouted many rules which led to me losing the job. For Derek, I don't know if he resumed back because we aren't even in contact. I feel heartbroken anytime I remember that I was the reason I lost my job of 5 years. Guy, I really don't know what to say at this point again. Writing this has brought back lots of memories that's making me really emotional right now. Life isn't as it used to be, but but I hope to keep pushing.